all of those things. And eventually the guys, once they started getting past doing a bouncing ball, a lot of them would have like a bouncing egg, and it would jump and crack, and a little bird would fly. They started getting more and more creative how they did it. But it's an exercise that everybody does. If you go to an animation school, they're going to teach you the bouncing ball. I mean, like a real sophisticated, like a college. When I was at Disney, it was the first thing they taught me, a bouncing ball. So everybody learns it. So it's what we teach in the school. So if you end up going to a college for animation or anything like that, you're going to be one up on everybody else. But what I usually like to have the students do is we talk about something that's called POA, or path of action, of what something follows, an object that follows. So if the ball just bounces and comes like this and then comes to a stop. And this path of action, on anything in animation, more than likely, like 99.9% of the time, it's going to be moving organically or an arc like this. Almost everything moves that way. So if you look like a baseball pitcher and he's got the ball in his hand and he goes to throw it. If we slowed it down and we looked at the point right here at his wrist and followed it in a line, you'd see that it moves in an arc. Most things don't move just straight on. Maybe a robot moves like that, or if someone's shooting an arrow or a bug buzzing around, but not too many things move in a straight line. They move in an arc. So we like to try to get into everybody's head that that's how something moves. So that's the first thing. The next thing that you want to think about is timing and spacing. So if a ball's coming in, you actually can start making little tick marks on here to determine where the ball's going to be. Because you control everything when you're doing animation. So you can put anything wherever you want to. And the closer, so if these spaces are closer, something's going to move slower. If they're further apart, it's going to move faster. And as you start doing more and more animation and learning that, you're going to figure out how to sort of manipulate something. So it's going to come in slower because at this arc, because eventually it originally came bouncing this way, and gravity's going to start working on it. So when something bounces and it starts going up, gravity starts pulling it, so it's going to start slowing down. If it's going to start slowing down, the drawing's going to be spaced closer. When it's coming down, it's going to speed up because gravity's pulling it down, so they're going to be further apart. Down here will be your squash. Then it comes back up again. Kind of slows down in here, goes a little faster. And over here it starts getting a little more complicated because it's getting closer together. Eventually the ball comes to an end here. So you want to think about squash when it hits. When it comes up this way, it may be elongated a little bit, kind of like an oval. Move back into its regular shape of a ball here and here. And these tick marks can then, you can plan out where your balls are going to be. And the tick mark is actually going to be the middle of the ball. And if you want to do it in the little flip book, it'll be a little harder to sort of plan this out, but on your first page you can kind of reference it back to it if you want to. If you work on these things, it's going to be a little easier to do. But you want to remember that you're going to be flipping back and forth from one drawing to another. So if you have any questions about this, if you want to do it, if you want to do it in flip book, just go ahead. If you want to use one of these boards, just let us know.